Welcome to This Place. Each week we ask Oregonians about the places that matter to them, where they live, where they work, and where they find meaning and joy. This week we hear from Matt Allen in Kimberly.
Usually when people ask where I live and I say Kimberly, they say, "Where is that?" And I say, it's the confluence of the North Fork and the main stem John Day rivers. I live just inside the Kimberly orchards, which are a fourth generation family-run fruit orchard. I'm not part of that family, but I run a small bee business there, and my home is about 100 feet above the water line, right on the North Fork of the John Day. I moved to Kimberly chasing a woman. The John Day fossil beds are a feature of Western Grant County and Wheeler County. And my spouse was recruited to work for the fossil beds. And I looked at the map and said, "Hey, hon, that's not near anything. Can I come?" And did. And my background before becoming a commercial beekeeper was in fisheries biology. And I also looked at the map and said, there's a river there and there's salmonids that swim up that river. I bet I can find a job. And I contacted every agency that I could find that did field work in the region. And in about a week, I found a job. Did not take long. So we stayed. I worked in steelhead habitat restoration for 3+ years full-time, and then scaled that back to a part-time contract position. And then in the meantime, started a small beekeeping business. So people often ask about Grant County, and I say it's a land of opportunities. There's a good chance that if you want to do something, there's probably not anybody else doing that thing. And so you can. And when I started playing with bees, it was like, how do I transform this into a living? There's not anybody raising large quantities of bee colonies here. There was no commercial beekeeping presence. And so it was like the only place where I could imagine just growing how I wanted to. And for the most part, that's still true. There's a few other commercial beekeepers around. And it's one of them moved here from the Willamette Valley, and he just talks about how much competition there is for territory over there. And we're here together. We shake hands. We help each other. We tell jokes. We call each other on the phone, and we stay out of each other's way so that we can keep that good relationship. Kimberly is different and special. I don't think I've ever been somewhere like it. It's the only place I could imagine living right on the river and be able to afford it. A side note, when I was in college, I rented an oceanfront balcony. My room was the balcony. It was the only single occupancy room in the house because it wasn't actually in the house. And it was $300 a month. And it was oceanfront, and it was amazing. And when I moved to Kimberly, I stumbled into the house that I currently live in. And this is the closest I'm ever going to get to an oceanfront balcony ever again. And I stayed.
That was Matt Allen in Kimberly. You can learn more about Matt's beekeeping work at apricotapiaries.com. This Place is produced by Oregon Humanities and edited by John Richardson. To hear more stories from This Place, visit OregonHumanities.org or subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening.